Well, good morning, everybody. Do you have a super secret piston door and you want to hide the switch for it? Well, you're in luck because I have 10 different ways to hide a switch for your piston door. So all these secret switches are going to activate the same piston door. It's a 1x2 piston door. If you want to see how to build this piston door, check out the video link above, but after you watch this video. Number 10 is the Lectern. It's not very discreet, but if you put a written book on your Lectern and turn to a specific page, you can activate your redstone. So how the Lectern works is you put a Lectern down with a solid block behind it and then a comparator reading the contents of the Lectern. So every time you turn the page, it adds a signal strength. And once it gets down to this observer sees the change and it will give a pulse to the door. Now on the other side, you're going to want just a regular old button. So when you go through, you can click it and close it. And when you want to leave, all you have to do is switch the page and the door will close. So number 9 is the note block. All you have to do is right click the note block and it will open the door, or right click it to close the door. Now you can hide the note block in a pillar or in some sort of decoration. The only things you need for the note block to work is a note block, of course, an observer looking at the note block, and then redstone dust just running to your T flip-flop. It is just that simple. Number 8 is the good old trap chest. All you have to do is open the chest and it will open the door, and to close it again, you just open the chest again. Now to make the trap chest work, all you need is a trap chest sitting on a solid block. And then out of that solid block, you need a repeater that will power the redstone line that goes to your T flip-flop again. Super simple, but a little obvious because you can see the redness around the latch on the chest, which lets everybody know it's a trap chest. Now, number 7 is a regular chest. You can activate the door by taking out items or placing items into a chest. Okay, to make the regular chest work as a switch, you need, of course, a chest, a solid block, a comparator, some redstone dust, and an observer down there. To make a regular chest work as a switch, you need a chest, of course, a solid block, and a comparator reading the contents of the chest. A comparator can read the contents of a chest through a solid block. As you place more items into the chest, the signal strength will increase. And once the signal strength increases enough, it will change in front of this observer. The observer will see the state change, and it will give a pulse to the T flip-flop to make it work. So you can fill this chest with anything you like to make it look like a junk chest. Number 6, the item frame. The item frame is a little bit more redstone intensive and a little bit more complicated. It's really not that difficult. A specific position of your items in your item frame will cause your door to open. You go off of those positions and it will close again. To use the item frame, you need an item frame, of course, and an object to go into the item frame. I like carrots or arrows, something that kind of delineates what direction it's pointing in. Then you need to place that item frame on a solid block with a comparator on the other side. As I turn the diamond, you can see the redstone signal is increasing. Once it gets to a maximum of 8, it will go back to 0. What you want to do is set your redstone torch along this side here to correspond to whatever position you want. So this is for position 3. It turns off the redstone torch. But if I go past it, the next block powers and it repowers this line. So the only place that this redstone line here is off is when this is at position number 3. 2, 3. And when this line gets turned off, this repeater turns off and the observer sees the repeater turn off and it will signal the T flip-flop. Now we have 2 lines here. We have 2 item frames. So if this one is off position, it doesn't matter what position this is at, it will never turn off that line. That line is always going to be powered, the bottom line. It will not depower until both positions are in the correct spot. And that is right there, which will close our door. Number 5 is the campfire. The campfire, if extinguished, can open the door, and if you relight it, it will reclose the door. You can also use a water splash bottle to put out the fire to activate the door. I really like the campfire as a method of opening a secret door, but the only reason it doesn't rank higher is because you need 2 tools to activate it. You need a shovel to turn it off, and you need a flint and steel to relight the fire. So that makes it a little less useful. But to set it up, it's really easy. You just need a campfire, an observer, and some redstone dust. So you have your campfire here with your observer looking at the campfire, and then just redstone running to your T flip-flop. Super simple. Number 4 is an oldie but goodie, but tilling the land, causing the door to open. All right, to set up the tilled dirt, you're going to need dirt, of course, and an observer looking at that piece of dirt. Underneath that observer, you're going to need some redstone dust, which will then power this repeater. This repeater has to be on 4 ticks, or else it will not work properly. Going into this solid block, that solid block will then power this line going to your T flip-flop to activate your door. But you're going to need to reset your dirt back to dirt from tilled earth, so you have a redstone dust on top of this block with this observer looking at it. Once it sees the state change, it will power this piston, sticky piston above it, and the sticky piston will push out a block and then pull it back, returning the tilled earth back to dirt. Number 3 is the furnace. You can use a furnace to activate your piston door. So when you put any item in to smelt, the state will change and the door will open. So using a furnace is quite simple. You just need a furnace with an observer looking directly at the furnace. And then underneath the furnace, you have your redstone line going to your T flip-flop. Now when you put any item in, it starts to smelt and the door will open. But the problem is, when this is done smelting, the state changes again and it will close automatically. So that could be good or that could be bad, depending on your application. I like to use sticks as my fuel source in there because they're easy to get and it lets the door close behind you rather quickly. You don't have to wait for a piece of coal to finish smelting because that takes a lot longer. And then to get out, you just have, of course, you switch on this side and you can get out that way. You could either smelt something on the way out or just reach through the door and it will close behind you. Number 2 is the redstone torch. It's another oldie but goodie, but all you have to do is place down your redstone torch in a specific place and it will open the door. Now to build the redstone torch key, you're going to need a bunch of redstone building blocks, a sticky piston, a redstone torch for the contraption, and another redstone torch for your actual key, some redstone itself, and 2 redstone repeaters. So let's come over here and rebuild it because it's a little difficult to see all in one shot. So this would be your wall that you want to build it against. You take your building blocks. I like to use a different type of building block than the wall itself. And you put 5 blocks out. Once you have your 5 blocks out, you're going to put a redstone torch right next to your wall. Then you're going to place a redstone dust above on the block above the torch, and then your redstone repeater facing this way on 4 ticks. You're going to put another block on top there with redstone dust on top of that. You need another solid block on top of this redstone repeater. So you have to hit shift and place it directly on top of it. Then you take your other repeater and it comes out of this block. And this is your signal that goes out to your door. Now coming around to this side, you're going to put another one of your solid blocks here with your sticky piston facing out towards this wall. Then you're going to remove this block and place it here on the piston, and it should push back out. There you go. And once you place your redstone torch here, it will pulse and send back out. So it breaks the redstone torch. Just remember that your output comes out the back here. Alrighty, and that's how you build your redstone torch key. And number 1 is the hidden water bucket. So all you need is an empty bucket to open up your door. Now to use your water bucket to activate your door, all you need is an observer looking at a water source with your redstone line going down to your T flip-flop. So what you need to do is you need to place a stair going sideways and another stair going the opposite way. And then in the middle, you need to place it this way so it looks like a park bench. You're going to need to block both of these ends and then place your observer just looking at that middle stair. So when you waterlog these stairs, you get a redstone output out of it. So when you take a water bucket out of this stair, you get a quick pulse there. So if you fill this all in, so when you fill all that in, it just looks like a flat wall that you can take your water out. All right, guys, thanks for watching. How many of these hidden switches did you guys already know about? Let me know in the comments below. And if you liked the video, be sure to click that like button. And if you really liked it, consider clicking subscribe. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.